Live from Smitty1.com studios, it's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Take a lap.
What is going on, good people? You are watching the Fantasy Football Show. I am your man, Smitty, and we're breaking down everything you can think of fantasy football related: free agency, quarterback movement, Trey Lance. We'll never stop talking about Trey Lance until he's fully unleashed. This train has not yet left the station. So jump on board. People are filing in to the Trey Lance station and trying to get on this train, and we've got room. We've got room. This practice footage from last year, mind you, leaked. And there's these amazing throws. Trey Lance is like floating on a carpet, like flying around, just throwing laser darts, angled this way, angled that way, throwing them under his arm, shooting them into the end zone. This guy has got this practice footage is making its way around the internet, and people are filing into Trey Union Station, trying to jump on board. And that's okay. We've got room. Today is a specific show, the voicemail show. Spacula first in the building. RGB, glad to have you here. James, King, Dylan, Champs, D2W in the building. How about them Cowboys? He says, ball is life. So on and so on. You guys are amazing. Hit the like button on your way in the door. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. We're getting right into the voicemails. For those of you that aren't in my special group of people, we have about 30 people, or we're gathering 30 people of the best voicemail leavers. If you can deliver a special voicemail, if you are just absolutely magnificent in your voicemail deliveries, and you know what you're doing, you can leave a quite special voicemail. We want you to be part of the voicemail group. DM me on Instagram at the Fantasy Football Show. DM me on Instagram and say, first word, say voicemail, and let me know you want to be in the voicemail group, and I'll throw you in. The advantage is I go to this group of 30 and you guys leave voicemails like crazy, and I can pretty much roll through all of those all show. But that isn't to say I won't go to all of your random voice messages, and that's why I'm going to hit this button here where you can all find me and leave me a voicemail right now. So let me hit that.
It's voicemail time. Drop a voicemail at the Fantasy Football Show on the gram. Tell your grandma.
He'll punch you in the throat.
Tell Grams, tell everybody about the show. We're going to kick the voicemails off with, I don't know if, let's see these. I got a ton of them. Here's Caden. Caden.
Got a new head coach. I think that's pretty good for their offense overall.
Wait, what do you say?
So if I can get a new head coach, I think that's pretty good for their offense overall.
He's talking, Caden, you're talking like 100 million miles an hour. Did you say Vikings have a new coach? Let's hear that one more time. Caden's ripping it.
So if I can get a new head coach,
Vikings.
I think that's pretty good for their offense overall.
Connell.
If they get Deshaun Watson, do you think that Justin Jefferson becomes equal to Chase in terms of dynasty value?
Let's dig into that. That's a great question. Great topic. Let me put that up on screen here, and we can definitely discuss that. No, the topic is not Lance yet, but it's going to be Watson. So Deshaun Watson. Great question, Caden. Caden, I think the reason you said Vikings so fast is you slowed down at the beginning. You said, ready the Vikings, and you started running.
So Vikings got a new head coach.
The Vikings got a new head coach. Watson. Here's the thing about this Deshaun Watson situation. Like, I'm not going to get into, I talk about it all the time. I'm not going to get into the legal details. You guys hear me talk about it enough. He does have a deposition coming up, so that could determine some things here in the next couple days. But Kirk Cousins is guaranteed $35 million, broskies. $35 million. $35 million. Kenny, what's going on? What's up, Jay? Underdog draft today? Maybe. We'll see. 35 mil. Kirk Cousins is getting 35 mil. That's a problem. That's what you call a problem, Caden. Because not only do the Vikings have to wheel and deal for Watson, which is going to take a lot of work and draft capital, whatever. I don't think they want Kirk Cousins, right? So you've got to deal Kirk Cousins in a pretty friendly quarterback acquisition market, but at 35 million, I don't know that you're getting rid of this dude. You know, that's a pretty penny, bro. So you have to in Minnesota get rid of Cousins at 35 mil guaranteed, and then try and orchestrate a trade. Lots of moving parts. To answer your question hypothetically, if Deshaun Watson was in Minnesota, which I think is not a very likely scenario as of right now, I would say Watson and Jefferson are about equivalent in terms of what it does for Jefferson as Jamar Chase and Burrow. Yeah, I would say you would be literally flipping a coin each time you draft. You would be dividing and conquering. You'd say, okay, I've got the number 5 pick in both of these drafts, these startup drafts. I'm going Jefferson in one. I'm going Jamar in the other. And you've got a big ear-to-ear grin, equal Jamar side, Chase side, equal ear-to-ear grin, because these two gentlemen, I just hit my elbow. I'm going to pretend it never happened. These two gentlemen are the top 2 wide receivers in Dynasty and in redraft. Well, Cooper Kupp in redraft, you could easily argue Cooper Kupp is number 1. But Jamar, Chase, and Jefferson in Dynasty are 1 and 2, 2 and 1, 1 and 1, 1A and 1B, 1A and 1A. I don't know. Complete tie. Very, very, very much upgraded situation if Watson is throwing footballs to Justin Jefferson. And look, we know what Justin Jefferson can do with Watson because we've seen it with DeAndre Hopkins. Jefferson would explode. Okay. Cousins with the $45 million cap hit. Yeah, it's bad. It's $35 million guaranteed that this man's getting. So it's a tough situation. Good question though, Caden, and I appreciate you, good buddy. That's a good question, Caden. I left him a message. All right, let's get to it. Steven.
Hey, Smitty, where
Steven.
do you think tight ends going this year? Like Kittle, Waller, Kelsey, TJ? Let me know. Thanks.
Kittle. Okay, so tight ends in fantasy. So topic is tight end drafting. Where do I see tight ends in 2022 fantasy football drafting? That's a great question, Steven. I think you'll have people reaching for Kelsey on the reg, like we see every year. Kelsey's older. Every year this man gets older, there's more of a risk of taking him early. So if I'm not taking Kelsey in years past in the second round, let alone the first round, because I don't build that way, it's not bad. It's not an awful way to build. I'm not saying you can't win doing it. There are very special people out there that know how to draft around that. And it's no shame in saying that's not a draft strength of mine or yours or anybody's. It's like if you're trying to draft Kelsey in round 1 and you're doing it for the first time, you're going to fail. Like, it's a hard approach, and some people are very good at it. But when you take a tight end early, even in the top of the second or mid-second, you're chasing not only running back and wide receiver the entire draft, and you never catch up. You're chasing those positions. You're trying to get value. You're also going to chase quarterback. So it's 3 different positions that you're going to be chasing all draft long, and it's hard. It's not impossible. It's just really hard, and it's not a fun way to draft for me. So I typically don't utilize that approach because A, I feel I'm better in other draft styles, and B, it's never conducive to best player available, which is the only way I recommend to draft. Best player available does open the door to a multitude of potential draft approaches. Best player available doesn't just mean best player available. Best player available is the cornerstone of your thought process when you go into a draft. And then that turns into running back, or it turns into wide receiver. So make no mistake about it. You can be a running back drafter using BPA if BPA, best player available, leads you down a path of going running back. It doesn't ever look to be tight end, wide receiver, tight end, running back, or even running back, tight end, or wide receiver, tight end. Never do I look at a draft board and say best player available, considering everything around, is Travis Kelce at number 12. I just don't like it. I don't like it. Would I take a tight end like Kelce at the turn in the second, third rounds, which he won't fall to, but would I? Where's my line in the sand? Absolutely. I would take Kelce at 24, at the turn picks for that. Like you take JT at 1 and you get Mahomes and Kelce at 24 and 25, sign me up. But that's not going to happen. That's not a real life scenario. But that's where I love Kelce. But Kelce's a third rounder at that point. So JT, Kelce, Mahomes, do it. Do it live. Championship. Where's my mallet? Championship. Boom. Okay, so answering the question, where do I see these guys getting drafted? Happy Friday to you, Terry. Happy Friday to you. Kelce, then Mahomes. Again, Swaggy, at the end of the second round, I wouldn't mind that. But I'm not taking Kelce as my second drafted player personally if I can't get Mahomes. If you can get Mahomes at the, like, let's say you're drafting at number 6 and you can take Jefferson, or let's go running back to make it simple for people that are like, wait a minute, you're not drafting a running back. But let's say Eckler, Kelce, and then Mahomes mid-third round and quarterbacks fall, then sign me up. That I could get behind, but you have to have a certain painted scenario, if you know what I mean. Ricky, yes. Yes, Taylor, number 1. What do you mean, nah? What do you mean, nah? Hold on a second. Are we taking a lap already, Ricky? Ricky, are we taking our first lap of the show? What do you mean, Taylor, number 1, question mark? Does that actually deserve 2 question marks, Ricky? I don't think you can say, hey, I like Najee, Smitty. Like in a real calm tone of voice. Like, excuse me, Smitty, I would prefer, personally, a little Najee. We need some new music for this. What do we got? I can't even hear it. Where's my music?
Take a deuce. Take a deuce.
That's not it.
Take a deuce. Take.
Whatever. Smitty. I prefer Najee Harris at 1. Real calm voice. I could get behind that, Ricky. But double question marks on Jonathan Taylor, number 1? Are you out of your mind?
Take a look.
Not in my house, bro. Not in my house. I would love to know your rebuttal. I do like. No, what's your rebuttal, bro? What's your rebuttal? You're laughing, but we want to know who's your number 1, Ricky? Who's your number 1? If you're not first, you're last, Ricky Bobby. Give us your number 1, bro. Ricky wants to know. Ricky doesn't appreciate you using his name. Where is it? Taylor, number 1. You're sharing a name with Ricky Hernandez, and he wants answers, bro. Does that look like a man that understands what you're saying right now? The words coming out of your mouth? Najee. I mean, I'm okay with that, but double question marks, bro? Double? Like, if A-Rod lands in Denver, or I'm sorry, if A-Rod lands in Pittsburgh, it's JT and Najee neck and neck for the 1 pick. Neck and neck, bro. If Jimmy G lands in Pittsburgh, it's no different. He's great. He's top 5 overall, no question about it. I love Najee Harris, no question, no problem. But it does not warrant the double question mark, bro. You can't drop the eyeball emojis or double or triple or quadruple question marks over a JT number 1 as if there's something wrong. Broski, You know, like there's a problem here. Okay, who's next? Jim.
Hey, Smitty, where do you see Jalen Hurts for 2022? I really like the talent, but I feel like with all the quarterback moves lately between...
Hold on one second. Jalen Hurts, I didn't answer this question fully. Tight ends, where do I see tight ends getting drafted? I could see Kittle going in the 3rd round. Am I doing it? Probably not. I'm taking Freiermuth. I love Freiermuth this year. I'm taking Knox and Freiermuth, even though you see them coming. Even though you see them coming, they're still undervalued. They're still undervalued. If Jimmy G lands in Pittsburgh, I'm watching the red zone. What's up, 49er Faithful Lee? Double question mark is a big deal. I get it. It's okay, Ricky. We appreciate you either way, okay? It's all right. Hurts. Part of us are having fun with you. The other part, you know, it was a little bit shocking, the double question mark. I'm not going to lie, but it's okay, bro. Jalen Hurts.
Between the emergence of Joe Burrow and the excitement of Trey Lance and talent, but I feel like with all the quarterback moves lately between the emergence of Joe Burrow and the excitement of Trey Lance and Kyler Murray and Deshaun Watson and Aaron Rodgers, that he's kind of been lost in the shuffle. I really think he could fall and you could really get some good value out of him next year. So do you see him as a top 6 or 7 quarterback, or does he kind of fall between that 7 to 12 range for you?
Man, Jim's flying. Jim, I appreciate the speed on that. I think maybe Jim's the guy that I said, Jim, hurry up. Jim, did I in my last show tell you to, Jim, hurry up with the, like, is that why you're speaking and much faster? That was good, Jim. Good delivery, pal. I love Jim. Yeah, Jalen Hurts has top 6 to 10 quarterback appeal in fantasy. He does. The problem, broski. And yes, we're all taking, you're in good company now, Ricky. You're in good company now, Ricky. I'm taking Gervonta. I'm taking No, we're taking Gervonta. I'm taking Gervonta Smith with the number 5 pick, or Gervonta Williams. Is that Gervonta Smith or Gervonta Williams? I gotta make a shirt, Gervonta. Ricky, I hope you're not taking this the wrong way. You are bringing entertainment to the show right now, okay? This is a good thing. Don't get mad. And run away. We need you, bro. We need you, Ricky. Hurts, the problem with Jalen Hurts, broskies, is we're looking at a team that does not believe in him. They don't believe in him. They've been trying to get rid of him before the season even began. Talk about trading up in the draft. Is he the guy? Open quarterback competition with the janitor. Like, you literally have a new coach come in Sirianni, and you're asked point blank, hey, this whole quarterback situation got just completely shredded up and just messed up and got confusing, and the disrespect being cast by Peterson on this quarterback, benching Jalen Hurts after 2 amazing games that Jalen Hurts dropped in 2020, and Peterson benches this guy and starts creating this doubt and lack of motivation and lack of confidence in Jalen Hurts. So and he had a beef with the ownership too, which is why Peterson eventually was removed. But Peterson, a recent Super Bowl contending coach, gets removed from Philly very, very quickly. They bring in Sirianni, and you think, okay. Running back by committee coach Peterson, get him out of there. Okay, let's go, Miles Sanders. Okay, Sirianni comes in. First question after a debacle and collapse at the quarterback situation and position going on when Jalen was the clear answer in 2021. I'm getting my years mixed up. 2020. Even though it was 2022, we're talking 1 year ago, 2020. What does Sirianni say when he comes in? Right at the beginning of the 2021 season that we just played? Yeah, Jalen may be our quarterback. We're going to have an open competition between Jalen and the janitor. We also have, the guy that sells peanuts and Cracker Jacks and cigarettes. That guy, he's going to maybe try out too. So this could potentially be a quarterback by committee. We're going to have a running back by committee, and we're going to have a quarterback by committee, and a quarterback tryout. Open tryouts to people on the street. Walk-ons. Because I don't know if Jalen Hurts is the guy. I don't know if Jalen Hurts will even make the team. This is what Sirianni's attitude was coming into a season, his first season, where the whole debacle happened with Peterson and the decision to bench Jalen Hurts after 2 phenomenal games. He benches him the 3rd game, I believe it was, week 16 or week 15. I don't remember exactly what week it was, but it was pitiful. A pitiful display of coaching by Peterson, running back by committed man, who's now going to do that potentially in Jacksonville, right? Let's be a little worried. Okay? Sirianni comes in and says, Jalen may not beat out the janitor. So they have not believed in this guy from the beginning, and it's dreadful. He's a good quarterback. He's got a lot of promise, and maybe he's got a lot to learn, but why doesn't somebody give him a chance? And even right now, the talk about who's going to be the quarterback, maybe it's not Jalen. It's already circling. It's ridiculous. Spacula with a super chat. Absolutely phenomenal. Job dropping a super chat at this moment, pal. Smitty, check my trade I sent in the Sniping SOB Sleeper Dynasty League. You know what, Spacula? Just because you dropped a super young man, I'm going to go ahead and pull it up right now. Sniping Sons of Bees League. This is a follower league. Spacula got a spot in that. This better be a good trade. This better be a good trade because I'm going to show it to the world. Trade. Spacula. Spacula. I'm receiving Diggs, Damian Harris, and a 2023 second. Spacula is going to rob me of McLaurin and Antonio Gibson. Thanks, Spacula. I'm getting Diggs, and I mean, look, it's not a horrible trade offer. It's not horrible, but I love McLaurin, and while I like Diggs and I like Damian, I do like Damian. I can't give up McLaurin and Gibson. I just can't do it. Thanks, buddy. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. I got another trade offer here from Banana Hammock, and it's. What is this? I get his 3rd rounder, and he gets my 2nd. Thanks, Banana. Appreciate that. Decline. Decline and block. Oh, another one from Banana Hammock. How exciting. I get Lockett. I give him my 2024 1st rounder and Cole Kmet. No thanks. I think I'll keep my 1st rounder. Block. Oh, all right. Thank you, pal. Appreciate you. I felt a little obligated to accept because you dropped a super chat. Nice move. That's what you call some psychology in fantasy football, pal. Here's a super chat, Smitty. Check my trade offer. Oh, that's awesome. All right. Now we've got... Let's see here. Where are we at?
Hey, Smitty, it's Tariq. How's it going?
Tariq!
What's your thoughts on the new reports of coming out of Deshaun Watson wanting to be traded to the Vikes or the Bucks this offseason? And what will be that for the fantasy value for JJ, Godwin coming back from an injury, Mike Evans, and or Grug? Thanks, buddy.
Appreciate it. We already talked a little bit about this, but you asked a couple different questions. So the Bucks, possible. The Bucks, the Broncos, I want to say football team, Reds. I can't even get it right in my own head. The Presidents. I think Watson as a Commander, I can kind of see it. Watson as a Buck, I can kind of see it. Watson as a Steeler, a little bit. Watson as a Bronco, a little bit more. Watson as a Cardinal, a whole lot more. Watson as a Texan, unfortunately, probably see that quite a bit. Watson not playing football at all. There's that potential possibility. Watson getting sat by the Texans, probably 0% chance, because unlike last year where he was guaranteed $10 million to sit, he is given $35 million this year if he is forced to sit football and not play. That's too much. There's no way the Texans are going to sit him for $35 million. They did it for 10, and that was crazy. Like, no one thought that would happen. I guess the Texans are capable of anything, but I highly doubt they sit this man for $35 million. Again, Jefferson to the moon with Watson. McLaurin to the moon with Watson. The Bucks, Mike Evans and Watson would be pretty dangerous, bro. Pretty dangerous. So I don't mind that, but I think overall it's not the best landing spot. I feel like the Bucks have a lot to fix. I think they're going to kind of collapse a little bit in a lot of ways, but it's a great question.
Hey, Smitty, what do I do with Trey Sermon?
The Bruce!
Do I hold him on the bench in my dynasty, or do I just say, hey, it's a wasted spot and let him go?
I think it does depend on the option, the Bruce. I really can't answer that without knowing who the replacement would be. Like, if it was somebody like, I don't know, Jarrett Patterson, I'd be like, grab Jarrett Patterson, bro. But if it's, a nobody, like, I would hold him in case something happens. Like, Mitchell and Sermon were a handcuff. Everywhere I said Sermon was a great pick, I pretty much almost always followed that up with Mitchell is in that conversation. You need to cuff. When I say Sermon's a breakout, I'm saying Sermon and Mitchell are a breakout together. They're a handcuff. So that's that. Do I think you should cut them in most scenarios? Let's wait and see what happens. You've got a new. I don't know if he's offensive coordinator because Shanahan's still offensive coordinator, but they may move Lynn to OC, but he's mainly there to work with the running backs. Lynn coming over from Detroit to replace, essentially he's replacing McDaniel in San Francisco, and Lynn is a running back by committee guy, and he's the one that was kind of at the front of not giving Swift the starting job at the beginning of the year, and he's my A-back, my one A-back is Jamal Williams. My B back is DeAndre Swift. Remember that? That's Lynn. That's Anthony Lynn. He comes over from Detroit. They stripped away his play calling ability by mid-season. So, there's some questions about whether this guy is actually going to be, an elite addition to this Niner rushing attack. I don't know. We'll find out. But definitely feel like they could do a running back by committee type of thing. So I would keep him unless you've got a really good option. The Bruce, okay? And where's my video clip, bro? Look, I'm not trying to be forward and get all hot and bothered here, the Bruce, but we are waiting on a clip from your mother saying, get Jamard, get Burrowed, or get Javonte. We need at least 2 of the 3, bro. We are waiting, and we would appreciate it. And your mother and I have a special fantasy football connection here through Mahomes. I helped this beautiful individual that is revered on this show, a legend on the fantasy football show, Mrs. Robeson. We call her Mrs. the Bruce, and we are waiting patiently for her amazing video clip. Please drop it soon, the Bruce. We are waiting.
Hey, Smitty. It's
What's
Johnny
up?
Matches.
Johnny!
I just watched the episode where you answered my voicemail about Joe Burrow, but you didn't really answer the question, so I'm going to ask it again, which is basically, is Joe Burrow, these sacks that he's taking, is part of the problem the fact that he's not throwing the ball away? Now, I want to be clear. I'm not criticizing Joe Burrow. I'm a big fan. I'm so grateful to have him on our team, but I'm watching him take these huge, losses of yardage, and I'm wondering, would a more seasoned quarterback be better at just getting that ball away before being taken down? So, thanks.
No problem. I'm sorry, Johnny Matches, that I didn't answer your question last time. I probably got derailed by some of the ways you're saying about what you're saying about Burrow. Like, would a more seasoned quarterback do? Like, I guess I got derailed from stuff like that because it's like the dude took his team to literally 1 or 2 plays away from being Super Bowl champions. So like I guess I get derailed in the middle of trying to answer the question, because at the heart of it is like, do you think somebody could have done it better, or do you think a more seasoned quarterback would? Like the answer is the offensive line is needing a lot of work. That's the reason. There's no other explanation. It's not Joe Burrow. What Joe Burrow is doing is fine. Like if Joe Burrow changed the way he goes about anything, they wouldn't be in the Super Bowl. So it's like you need to protect him better. Clearly, but what he was doing was working. Johnny Matches is what I would say, and I'm sorry if I didn't answer it properly last time. But no, I don't think a season. I mean, he is still getting better. He played like 9 or 10 games and then tore his ACL, and then came in and had this remarkable season where he's still learning. So will he get better at quick release? Will he figure out ways to be smarter and say, hey, my offensive line's weak on the left side right now. I've got like Brady would do stuff like that. Brady would be like, I need to have a quicker release this game because of that. I need to navigate that way in the pocket more because I know we've got troubles on the left side today. Like Joe Burrow probably doesn't think that at that level yet, and that's not a knock. It's literally not even his second full season. Like this was his second season, but it was his first full season. So, I mean, sure. Would a more seasoned quarterback maybe not hold on to the ball at certain times? I mean, I suppose I could muster out and force myself to say yes on that. But would a more seasoned quarterback have done what he did? Maybe not. Maybe Joe Burrow needs to do these things in order to be Joe Burrow. I don't want him changing a thing. I love Joe Burrow the way he is, exactly the way he is. They just need to build around him. And if giving him more time to allow him to do Joe Burrow things is what they need to do, they need to do it. So I agree with you that he will learn and get better. But how much better could he get? Like he's going to get better. But I mean, to say he could have done something better, they're a play away from winning a Super Bowl. These Mexican Cokes are good from Costco. These are the Mexican Cokes, not the American Cokes. These have the pure sugar in it instead of the artificial, and they are fantastic. Thank you for asking. How are those burnt ends? We got burnt ends at Costco. If you missed my live stream yesterday, we went to Costco. I did shopping during the live stream instead of doing it from the studio. We got like 2 cases of the Mexican Cokes. We got burnt ends. We got scallop potatoes. We got a bunch of amazing salads. We got everything. We filled up the car, did it live. You can go watch that. Nice little Costco run. Okay, next question. Thank you, Johnny. Ryan.
What's up, Smitty?
What's up, Ryan?
Just wanted to send you a real quick question pertaining to the rookie running backs of the 2021-2022 season. Obviously, you've discussed Javonte and Najee Harris, who both will be great next year, depending on where Aaron Rodgers goes. It may even not, inflate the value, so to speak, even more so. So if you were to have them 1 and 2, the 3 to 5 top rookie running backs, how would you rank them? Javonte, Najee Harris, Travis Etienne, James Robinson had that injury at the last end of the year, that Achilles injury. Guys like Elijah Mitchell. Who are your top 5 rookie running backs for next year to draft? And what's your opinion on the James Robinson, Travis Etienne situation? So obviously, Etienne definitely is going to have.
You keep saying rookie running backs, but you mean the sophomore running backs? I'm pretty sure because you keep referencing the sophomore class, but I think I get what you're saying.
Like a lot of time to recover, but who knows? James Robinson has been great, and I'm kind of just looking for a little bit of clarity on that backfield. And what do you think about Elijah Mitchell in the backfield with Mostert and the other guys there? Thanks again.
Good questions, and I will say this, bro. Don't get your hopes up on James Robinson. I don't know if you tend to gravitate toward the underdog type of player, the comeback player, but there's literally not a lot of hope involved in James Robinson. He's an undrafted free agent, which is an uphill climb as it is. For whatever reason, coaches and the way the NFL works, you have a tougher road. I'm not saying it can't happen. Arian Foster was an unrestricted free agent, and he was phenomenal. Like it's not like it can't happen. But this guy was not. He was an unrestricted free agent. He climbed up, had an opportunity, suffered an Achilles tear, which I don't care what Akers has been doing. It is a very hard injury to come back from. And Akers hasn't even come back. He's on the field, but he's not back to form. He's looked explosive, and we thought, okay, explosion could be there. But literally looked awful in the playoffs. Horrible yards per carry, 2.7 yards per carry, something like that. But it's very hard to return not only to a top 10 running back form, but Robinson was already barely there anyway. So, and to run into a running back by committee situation with Peterson, with ETN, there's not a lot of hope for me that Robinson's going to be relevant. As for the ranking of the sophomore running backs, you've got Harris number one. Javonte can have a cup of coffee with him if, let's say, Denver gets Aaron Rodgers or Watson. Even if they brought in Huntley or Wilson, there's a lot of options on the table. And Denver's going to try and swing big because they've been trying to fill this quarterback spot for a while. They've been doing it makeshift style. They're going to try and fill it properly, like Elway's been trying for a while. So if Javonte gets a big name quarterback, he won't be ahead of Najee, but he could certainly be right there with him, or at least third overall out of all fantasy football players. You're talking about JT going 1, Najee going 2, and Javonte going 3, and maybe in some cases them sharing Najee and Javonte that 2 spot. I think that's really what an Aaron Rodgers acquisition would do for Javonte's value. As of right now, Javonte is like a top of the second round pick, which is fantastic for all of us that believe in him because we can clean up in best ball. But Javonte's number 2, pretty clear as day. Swift would be number 3. And let's see here. Let me pull up here all the running backs I can make sure are here. Wait, I forget your question. Was your question just about sophomores? Let me see here. I can pull up my rankings here. So, Swift's his third. This will be his third year. So if you're talking about just sophomores, then he would be taken off the board there for that conversation. But you're talking about ETN, JK. I'm trying to think of all the sophomores. Michael Carter. Is Patterson entering his third year? So I mean, it's Javonte. It's ETN probably next up. I don't know if I'm forgetting somebody. I'm trying to pull up my sophomore rankings, but they're not loading right now. So, yeah, Swift wouldn't be involved in that if we're talking. He's in his third year. But I don't know, bro. I don't know. It's a good question, but I think we got to dig into some mock drafts to see where everybody's ranking. I do like ETN a lot. I think ETN could be a really good running back. A lot of vacated wide receiver targets needing to be scooped up. And ETN's probably the best receiving back in his class. At least he was thought to be. So there's a lot of upside for ETN. The problem, again, is Peterson and running back by committees and such. So that threat is there. But I do like ETN a lot. Javonte and Najee, it's like they're so far ahead of everybody else. It's not even close, bro. Mitchell. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mention Mitchell. Mitchell's probably third. I agree with Silver's ranking here. If I had to, I would say Najee, Javonte, and then it would be Mitchell ahead of ETN, but ETN could certainly be as good as Mitchell. Let me just say that. ETN could be. Carter I like a lot, but I think Carter's situation holds him back a little bit until that gets a little bit resolved. But ETN's a clear like 5th, 6th rounder. Mitchell's a very decent top of the 3rd pick. Some would put him in the 2nd round. Carter, he's more of like a 5th or 6th or 7th round guy, where ETN kind of is. But ETN's got the upside. ETN's probably got the most bang for the buck later in the 5th or 6th round. If he does, in fact, fall that far, he might start climbing and go in the 4th round. But I do like ETN a lot, but it's hard to rank those guys. Johnny Matches. That was Ryan. Here is one from, who is this? Wade? Wade. This is another one from Wade.
Smitty, one more question.
Yeah.
Where are you taking Amon-Ra St. Brown next year?
I've taken him in the 6th round before. It feels a little early, but I think he can earn it. 5th feels a little high. Do I think he could earn that? Yeah. I think he could go anywhere in the 5th to 7th round range. The later we get him, the more risk we're baking in. So if let's say St. Brown goes at 5.5, he certainly can earn it. Like, I like him a lot, but it's preferable to get him in the 6th to 7th round range. Probably 6 is where you got to bank on ensuring you grab him, but he certainly has the ability to be a round 5 or 4 guy. You want to leave room for upside. You can't draft a guy like St. Brown too high, or you ruin the appeal that he's coming to the table with. So 4th round's too early. 5th round's probably right now too early. 6th, 7th round, perfect, because then he can be your low end wide receiver 2 if you like wait on the wide receiver 2, and then he can swing in and be a huge win for you. So I love St. Brown though. He's on my radar for being one of the bigger breakout wide receivers for sure. Year 2 rankings: Najee, Javonte, Etienne, Carter, Mitchell. I could get behind any of those as long as Najee and Javonte are 1 and 2. The Etienne, Carter, and Mitchell, you could swap them all over and it wouldn't really shock me. I could understand people getting mad about Mitchell not being 3rd, but at the same time, Lynn, I know Shanahan's going to make a lot of decisions, but Lynn is now in charge of that backfield in a sense, and he's a running back by committee guy. It's not crazy to think that Mitchell could lose some value. So, Spacula, Diggs, Kirk, Patterson for McLaurin. Is this another offer? Is this an offer to me? Is this an offer to me or no? Diggs, Kirk, Patterson for McLaurin. Is that in the SOB league? Send me the offer and I'll look at it. Oh, he did send it. What do you guys think? Should I do that one? I get Diggs, I get Kirk, I get Patterson, he gets McLaurin. I love McLaurin. But I kind of like that deal. I think Spacula knows how to tickle my fancy. He knows how to get me excited, giving me Jarrett Patterson. That's a pretty good offer. I know I like McLaurin, ladies and gentlemen, but Diggs is still young enough. God, I like McLaurin, though. I like McLaurin. I get Diggs, Patterson, Kirk. I get Kirk, too. I'm doing it. 3-way, 3-for-1 trade done. Done. I don't even know what my team looks like in this league. Let's plug in. Let me put this on focus mode. I don't need all these text messages coming in. Let's plug in and take a look at this trade that Spacula just threw on my plate last minute here. So here's the trade. I get Diggs, Kirk, and Patterson. He gets McLaurin. We did it live. I like it. I like Diggs. I'm fine with that. I don't even know what my team looks like. Okay, so I got McLaurin. I don't have McLaurin now. Let me see. Is it going to refresh? Do I have to force this trade through? Complete. Ziggy, show me the front door. Who's trying to break into the house right now? Why is it not going through though? I don't know why it's not going through. My wideouts are now Justin Jefferson, CD, and McLaurin, he says. Ziggy off. My team, I mean, I don't know why it's not going through. Let me quit the app and go back in. Because it's not loading. But let's see. Let's see here. There we go. I just had to quit the app and go back out. Okay, so I've got Mitchell, Mahomes, Gibson. We got Hopkins. We've got Diggs. Who is that? Is that Antonio Brown or is that AJ Brown? It's Antonio Brown. I haven't looked at this team in so long. Oh, I got commit on my... I got to make some drops. Crap. Okay, so I guess we're going to drop... We can drop Reynolds. See ya. Deuces, bro. Deuces, bro. Higbee, AB. You got to go, AB. There's no other choice. You got to go. Deuces, AB. I mean, it's hard to cut him. I want to be honest, but like, who else would I could cut Mike White, but I really like Mike White. You guys know that. Heineke, deuces. All right, now I got to put Cole Kmet. I got to move him up. Taxi squad to the bench. Okay, one player over the limit. I still need to cut somebody. Do I cut Mike White or do I cut Antonio Brown or do I cut Higbee? Or do I cut Kmet? It's Dynasty. Who am I cutting here? Who am I cutting? I like McLaurin too, Speculate. He didn't make a bad trade. I mean, McLaurin's going to break out. If he gets a quarterback, if he gets Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson or Watson, watch out. My McLaurin content is going through the roof, bro. I'm gonna write on this guy left and right, nonstop. Who am I cutting here? Kmet, Higbee, AB, Mike White. I know a lot of you are going to say Mike White. You know how much I like this kid. I'm willing to cut him if I've got to. I gotta make room so I can set this lineup. I'm getting OCD. I gotta have my lineup set in this league. I can't leave it like this. I can't leave it. I suppose I cut Mike White. I don't have a backup quarterback. AB. Does AB gonna play again? Is the team really gonna bank on AB? I don't know how. And Higbee, I don't want to cut Higbee, I don't think. Although, I have 3 tight ends. I don't know if I need 3 tight ends. Who am I dropping? Who am I dropping, people? Who am I dropping? Spacula and Smitty in the same league. Spacula just made a trade to Smitty. That's right. Is someone going to give me a recommendation on a drop? Who are we dropping here? Mike White. Yeah, let's just drop him. You know what? See you later, AB. Why can't I do it? We'll drop Mike White for now. I don't even think anybody would pick him up. Okay, so now let's adjust my lineup. We've got Hopkins. We've got Diggs. We've got Kelsey. We've got not a bad looking squad. I definitely wouldn't mind making moves at running back, but Mahomes, Mitchell, Gibson. I got Patterson now. Hopkins, Diggs, Kelsey. Not a bad looking squad. Let's see what some of these other teams I have look like. This is the quarantine league. Got Mahomes, Najee, Mitchell, Jefferson, AJ Brown, Kittle. Damn, that team's lit. Not a lot of depth. Doesn't surprise me. I make tons of trades and stack up. 10,000 Drake's league. I've got Murray, Henry. That's the only team. The only team I have Henry on, and no one will give me anything because this is a follower league. and I got McCaffrey. No one's going to give me anything for McCaffrey. This team was absolute fire for a part of the season, right? No one will give me anything for these two guys because these are followers in my league, and they hear me talk down Henry and McCaffrey so much. No one is giving me anything. But I got Hopkins and McCaffrey, Henry, Kyler, IU, Kittle. That's a pretty strong team. I haven't looked at this team in a while. Do I have any trade offers pending on these leagues? The quarantine league. Man, that's, yeah, interesting. All right, we got 4 minutes left. Get back to the voicemails real quick. Appreciate you guys leaving these. Wade, thank you very much. James, or no, Jim.
Hey, Smitty, I know no one really cares right now about Allen Robinson. I know a lot of people think he's done and washed up, but I don't know, man. He's kind of interesting to me. Something weird happened last year in Chicago, man. He was kind of out of their game plan. If you look at the last 3 years, he had 154 targets in 2019, 151 in 2020, and then 66 last year. So something weird went on in Chicago. Are you buying him as a wide receiver too, or a flex, or is he pretty much off your radar?
Off my radar. Not interested. Moving teams is never easy for wide receivers, and then the dude's been struggling, and there's no excuse for him to not deliver with two different quarterbacks. I get it before Fields, and then if Fields came in and he did well, we'd have an explanation as to why he vanished. But no matter what the quarterback was, dude wasn't getting it done. Not saying he can't rebound and find value again. I'm just saying I'm not the one that's going to give him the shot. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, Smitty, I'll try to keep this pretty short, man. So, okay, a little background. Joined a Dynasty Superflex League on Sleeper. It is a money league. I know most dynasties die out within the first 2 to 3 years. I don't know this guy. I don't know any of these guys. So, should I?
Hey, Smitty.
Shoot, where was I?
Should I draft for the production now or the future? What do you think I should do?
I think if you don't know the group of people you're with, lean a little more toward the now, but always have good intentions for the future too. But don't stray away from going A-Rod at your quarterback spot and saying, you know what, he might give me 1 or 2 years. Going Diggs over a younger wide receiver when Diggs could give you 2 years. And I'm not saying Diggs over other. I'm just saying in general, that kind of thinking. I always lean young quarterback like Josh Allen or Burrow or Herbert or whatever. I lean quarterback because quarterbacks are with you for 10, 15 years. So in a super flex dynasty startup, if you're in a position to get one of those big 4-5 quarterbacks, you've got to do it. Jamar Chase, wide receivers, I tend to lean a little bit more that way anyway, but in a dynasty startup especially. But definitely, the good news is a lot of the younger guys are the now anyway. So you don't run into a lot of scenarios where do I take Chase or Chase is the number 1 or 2 or wide receiver? Jefferson's the number 1 or number 2 wide receiver. So it's actually like a weird pivotal year where the younger class is taking over, and you're not going to be faced with a bunch of those scenarios, to be honest.
Hey, Smitty, where do you see Rondale Moore and Christian Kirk getting picked this year, and what do you think their production will be like? Thanks.
AZ wide receivers, depends on the quarterback. If it's Kyler Murray, deep like they should be. Rondale Moore very, very late. Kirk very, very late. Talking wide receiver 4, 5, 6, on fantasy. If A-Rod or Watson lands in Arizona, I bet you see those guys creeping into the 7-8 round range, which is still not that crazy, but it's a lot higher than they would be. So, and who knows, that could change. Rondale Moore's got a ton of upside.
Hey, Smitty, happy Friday. It's Tariq.
Tariq.
What's your thoughts on the Packers bringing back A-Rod's old quarterbacks coach? You think that'll give him some push to stay with the Packers, or you think his mind is set and he's departing somewhere else for 2022?
It's interesting, and it could be a telling sign, a tip of the hat as to what maybe Aaron Rodgers has requested. I don't know, But I think that we're still in a very, very like 50-50 place where Rodgers' breakup with his relationship like could determine what he wants to do next. Like, honestly, like I think it's a big part. This is a big curveball, him breaking up with his fiance. What's he want to do? Does he want a clean slate? How's he feeling emotionally about it? Is he like, I want familiarity. I'm going to stay where I've got like this family. He's estranged from his family, so he doesn't have connections to his family. And so maybe he's feeling like a little sentimental to the people he does know and care about. But at the same time, he's Aaron Rodgers, and he looks happy. He doesn't look down. He doesn't look depressed. And this dude might be saying to himself, I want adventure. I want a clean slate. I want a new adventure, and I'm going to go take on Denver. I'm going to go take on this and that. And if he wants to trade, he's going to get it. He's going to make it happen. Lang.
Hey, Smitty. Happy Friday. It's Lang.
50-50.
From people who report for the Broncos team in Denver, and it said that they're not interested or thinking about signing Melvin Gordon back, and it's going to be more of a Javonte-based run game. What do you think his realistic ceiling is? I know you talk about him a lot, but even if it's Teddy Bridgewater there, what do you think he's going to produce in 2022 to the 2023 season?
Javonte, I think even if they don't bring in a big name quarterback, you're talking top 5 running back numbers. I mean, he was like number 1 for parts of the year in broken tackles, number 2. I think he finished number 2 or number 3 in broken tackles, getting half of the work in Denver. Imagine if this guy's getting full volume. He's impossible to take down. If he doesn't get hurt, which could happen to anybody, if he doesn't get hurt, sky's the limit. Top 5 running back potential. The difference is if you give him an A-Rod or a Watson, you're giving him more touchdown production and potentially more red zone looks, which leads to more touchdown opportunities. So it comes down to touchdowns for me. If he gets a good quarterback, touchdowns go up quite a bit. Efficiency goes up, and that's good for him. He could stay healthier if he's more efficient, getting a tiny bit less work, but more efficient work, that he has bigger numbers. So it's a happy medium, a fine line, like a teeter-tottering of production versus volume. And, either way, Gordon out, top 5 running back numbers. And if that becomes official and cemented in and there's no competition, he climbs immediately into the 5 to 10 range overall. Right now, he's about 11 to 15 in a mock draft. Javonte Williams is not going in the top 5. We've done a numerous amount of mock drafts. He's going around 11 to 15 because of the uncertainty of people waiting for the official word on Melvin Gordon. He'll climb immediately to that like 5 to 10 range, and then if A-Rod or Watson or a big name quarterback go, he's locked in at number 3. So it's going to be a drastic climb very, very quick.
Smitty, I love the Slim Reaper coming out of the draft, but I just don't see him getting the targets he needs in Philly. Do you think there's any way with Hurts at QB he's going to see the targets he needs to be successful?
I do like Devontae Smith, the Slim Reaper. I think judging him too quickly off his rookie year could be a mistake, but at the same time, there is reason to worry about Philly. Like I just mentioned, this coaching staff from Peterson to now Sirianni, just mistake after mistake after mistake in this organization, even though they've won a Super Bowl relatively recently, and there's some good things about the organization, they are a joke in some other ways and a complete misstep is how I would describe the Eagles, from drafting Rager over Jefferson and all this crap that continues to happen in Philly. Like, to not support Hurts, to not understand he's good, to not understand he's the future, and to not support him and give him the tools to succeed. And then you worry about quarterback struggles. Will Hurts be the guy? Because it all revolves around quarterback consistency for a guy like Javonte Smith. So it's unfair, and it might continue to be unfair. That's the risk, is that he's going to be looking at a risky situation. I like him, though.
It's Terry. Hey, what do you think about Tony Pollard's upside with Ezekiel still there? I really don't like it until they decide to not use Ezekiel as the star running back. You're going to have issues with Tony Pollard's upside, I do believe.
Yeah, good.
Tell me your thoughts on
Good question, Terry. And real quickly on the Devontae Smith, I think he's still a top 10 potential wide receiver, but very, very unsure if he's going to get there. Or get there fast. So I love Devontae Smith. Just it is very, very risky right now, given the state in Philadelphia, the state of things. As for Tony Pollard, you got to look at him like a win a league player. Still, he's not a starter. To be honest with you, Terry, it couldn't be a better situation. Like if Elliott was like out of the picture, Pollard. I mean, I would like Pollard but I think Elliott won't last anyway. So Pollard is still very devalued right now. Now is the time to scoop him up. I feel like we scooped him up last year. We like Elliott too, but we scooped up Pollard last year as a winning league player. He never was truly unleashed or utilized to the point where he won leagues, but I think that carries over into this year. And given that Elliott's still there, and I think Elliott probably gets hurt or something, this is the cheapest you can get a guy like Pollard, and I think it's probably a better risk than if Elliott were like out of the picture and people are drafting Pollard at number 12. You know what I mean? Then you have a lot of risk involved. Like, will he maintain that value? Will he be that good? At least now you're spending rock bottom pricing still. Pollard is a breakout, a guy that can still win. So I like him, Terry, but it would be fun if he was starting. Like if Elliott were to retire all of a sudden, like we'd all be amped and ready, and I'd put out a lot of content and I'd be excited. I'm just saying, trying to think about it objectively. Maybe it's good that Pollard is going to be very undervalued, and I still like him a whole heck of a lot. Subscribe if you're new. That does it for the show. Leave a comment if you're new. I will respond to every comment I can for the next 12 to 24 hours on last night's video. I still need to get back to some of you. I will definitely be getting to every one of you. Leave a comment. Appreciate all of you. Like if you haven't liked yet. We've got still about 40, 50 people in here. Please hit the like button. It helps your boy Smitty. Subscribe if you're new. What's up, media? We're just getting out of here. Appreciate you coming by, though. And I will see you all probably tonight. I might go live tonight.